Hello and welcome. I'm Prantik from RevSportz and I'm here at the hallowed Lord's Cricket Ground, the mecca of cricket. And why are we here? We're here to celebrate Sourav Ganguly, the Maharaja, the Prince of Calcutta's 50th birthday. And obviously, you figured why we are at the Lord's, because this is where it all began. And what better an opportunity than for me to be in conversation with Joydeep, who was here at 96, 2000, 2002, and he's been there with Sourav throughout, whether it's domestic cricket or even right now as a friend, philosopher, as a well-wisher. So Joydeep, firstly, welcome to Lords and welcome to our special RevSportz celebratory episode.
Thank you. It's special being here. It's a special occasion, and RevSportz is very close to my heart. So it's a great place to be.
Absolutely, and such a wonderful day. Let's get to 96. Rahul Dravid, Sourav Ganguly. Interestingly, today one's a president, one's a coach. They've come a long way together and they've been great servants and leaders for Indian cricket. Let's talk about 96, your memories of that test match and Saurav's debut 100.
Yeah, so I'll start before the test match because, the one day as we're going on, he played a one day, 40 odd, and after that, they were playing some side games, as was the practice back in the day. They were playing some difficult wickets. I remember playing Derbyshire, and Devon Malcolm wasn't picked by England. So Dean Jones, the then captain of Derbyshire, left about 6 mm grass on a 7-degree morning to play the Indians. And a lot of the senior players did not play in that game. Rahul and Sourav batted well in that game. Rahul and Sourav batted well in every game, getting up to Lords. And then in the first test, went to Edgbaston. Sachin got 100, Nasir Singh got 100, but we lost. I was there for that one as well. So there was no chance of Sourav really breaking in because there were no vacancies, and that's how it is. Only 6 batters can play. Then we know what happened with Sidhu and Manjrekar broke his foot. So suddenly at Lords, there were these 2 guys who had a chance to make their debuts. So funnily, I was there when he was overnight not out, 14, 16, whatever, and jittery as always, So next day, 20s, 30s, 50s, 70s, and when the 100 happened, I felt it to the bone because having been part of the journey, having played the same sport at the same level at Ranji Trophy and everything, I know how difficult the transition is. I know how tough it was that morning, and funnily, it can't happen now, but after the game, sort of took about 20 minutes. Then he came down. We walked across the turf of the Lords, and as we were talking, we said, wow, that's where he got the 100, that's where he's become a superstar. We were about 15-20 yards away from it.
I'm just getting goosebumps listening to this, and I can remember as a 13-year-old what an impact it had on me when I saw Sourav get that 100. At Mecca, to have your name etched forever, it's an indelible piece of record. We've spoken about Test, how he made the most of that opportunity.
I'll just finish this one.
Yes, please.
So we walked across Lords, crossed the road, and went into the Hilton. And so did Azharuddin, so did everybody in the team because there was no team bus, there was no PMO area as there is now. So things were very different back in the day. So we walked across, we went straight to the coin box, put in some pounds and called his father, called Donna at the time. Then we went upstairs, Nayan Mongia was the roommate, we walked in, we spent some time there. In about 20 minutes, showered up, jeans, t-shirt, we came down. And we were waiting for a friend of mine to come and fetch us. We wanted to go out for a meal and celebrate. So my friend Deepak and my wife, they were coming to fetch us because they were not at the match.
Yeah.
But, that was the time it really hit us what Sourav was. So Sourav standing in Kolhapuri slippers, Levi's jeans and a round neck t-shirt. It's Jeff Potter. It's David Power. There's Ian Botham. The greats of the game. And nobody knew Ganguly the morning before. Next, everybody's like, well play youngster, well play young man. You're here to stay. And we are standing there and like, whoa. This is some upheaval,
That sense of belonging that you always talk about.
I always talk about.
Let's fast forward captaincy, and ODI, because again, as far as ODI cricket is concerned, he took the reins at a very critical juncture after some difficult times that Indian cricket went through. And talk us through his captaincy. Did you expect him? What was it about his captaincy, as well as, and this is where you have to tell us about that Lord's Balcony episode again. As far as I remember, you've seen it, we saw it on TV. Tell us, what was your feeling?
Yeah, that's a great question, but it comes from me, not surprised. See, I think I wouldn't say I wasn't surprised at how good a captain he was, but when I put everything together and pieced up everything, it seems that it was bound to happen. So captaincy, to be a good captain, you need a few things. One is you got to understand the game, which he does. You got to be bold. Now that's a big one. You can't worry about who's going to say what is the press going to say. He's a sort of guy, a lot of people tell me, what differentiates Sourav Ganguly as a Bengali from every other Bengali? I said, it's how bold he is. It's how brave he is.
Right.
I think by nature, being a Bengali, I can say we are not the bravest. We're very talented, everything else, but we're not the bravest. That is what separates him from all of us. All of us.
That's Maharaja.
So, yeah, that's Maharaja. The captain was entrusted upon him. Sachin went through all that happened and everything happened with the match fixing. There weren't too many candidates, so Sourav was entrusted. But as he did it, I knew ultimately he wasn't really good when he started.
Yeah.
Because he hadn't captained Bengal or Zone or anything
That's
that much, or India A. There have been other players who've captained India A. I know people who've captained India A for 5 years and haven't captained India because they never got that chance to. So when that came initially, but these things that I spoke about, these characteristics actually helped him be the captain he was. I think that he had some amazing players. He'll be the first one to tell you, whenever anyone asks him, this is as recent as day before yesterday in his flag, we were talking about his team, and he says, my team, look at my team.
Yeah.
He always said, look at my team.
But I must give it the way he also nurtured some of these young folks, and because I've spoken to some of them back in Singapore recently, and many of them said without Dada we might not have no one might have persisted with us and nurtured us and backed us the way he did.
Yeah, it's a two-way street because he needed them and they needed him.
Fair enough.
Okay, so if you talk about Harbhajan, if you talk about Azhar Khan, if you talk about Sehwag, you talk about Akef, you talk about anybody, it's a two-way street. And someone always says that I didn't have a Dhoni, so I had to go with Rahul Dravid.
Right.
If I had a Dhoni, Rahul Dravid would have played as a batter, but I had to get my team in place. So asking Rahul Dravid, that's a bold one, because Rahul Dravid is as big a player as they come. He's a superstar. But he also, Sourav could tell him that we need you to keep. You will play anyway, but if you keep, we can play one extra batter. We can play a Mohammad Kaif. So then the team, I have to talk about this story at the 2002 tour in Headingley. So India had lost the first test, drew the second. The third test was at Headingley. I was there at Headingley. It was 6 degrees, spitting rain. India won the toss and elected to bat. There was complete silence everywhere. In the comm box, in the dressing room, I said, has the skipper lost him? So then Virendra Sehwag gone in the second over, caught in the slips of Andrew Caddick, and it looked like a 120 all-out day. It really did. I thought, oh my God, we could be fielding today. So then we know Sanjay Bangar and Rahul Dravid. That's the best Rahul Dravid 100 that out is. The next day the sun came out. Sourav knew about this. He didn't tell anybody. He knew about the weather. He also knew that if he fielded, and if for some reason England got 350, they couldn't win the series because the last one is to be over. So now that's forward thinking, being intelligent, which we all are. But are we bold enough? Being 1-0 down, we could be 2-0 down. The series is over.
That's right.
Next day the sun came out. Sourav got 100. Sachin got 190. Kumble, Harbhajan, we bowled them out. Rest is history. But also, the man up there loves him because everything falls in place. It could have been that Bangar gets out and Dravid gets out, and then we are 71 for 5, and then 147 from 8, and then 162 all out. Now England get 360, and then we under the pump. So everything also falls in place, but he had the pitch to go.
So that's Sourav Ganguly for you. Bold, courage of conviction. It's the passion with which he led. He had the foresight, as Joydeep was telling us, but also a lot of preparation. Even that celebration, there was a lot of thought behind it. And that's the beauty of the man. Sourav Ganguly, as far as I'm concerned, he changed the perspective of the game. He's a great batsman, 7,000 plus tests, 11,000 plus test runs, wickets, catches as well, 100 ODI catches. So Mans as a player was a complete player, but it's his leadership skills. As a person growing up in India and Southeast Asia, I would look up to him. He sort of made me realize that you got to take pride in whatever you do, including your nation, including any team, whether corporate or otherwise, and you got to stand up for yourself. There are so many such episodes, but we'll have to end here. Joydeep, thank you for sort of sharing these personal anecdotes. You have seen him right from a young boy to the finished cooked product to today, obviously a successful ambassador of the game and an administrator. That's all from us from RevSportz, but we would want to wish Sourav, the Prince of Calcutta, the Dada of everything, happy birthday, happy 50th birthday, celebrate, and hopefully life is, the second innings from here on is much better and sweeter. Thank you.